We have with us in the studio today Comrade Adeola Ilori, a lawyer and rights activist. We welcome to Sahara TV. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, in his recent visit to New York, said kidnapping is not new in Nigeria, and even some kidnapping they are onto as they are made up. What do you think about this statement from the Vice President?
Well, to some extent, the Vice President is right. Kidnapping is not new. We've not just started witnessing it. It has been from one administration to the other. At one point in time in Anambra State, kidnapping has become another business venture compared to spare parts selling. So that's where we get the issue of Ishakabas and was able to help them out. I think that was during Baduniju administration. Even Ginigige was kidnapped as governor of the state. So it's not new, really. And it's just that quite unfortunate that what is not new in this country is not going away at the same time.
I was going to ask, does that justify the inability of his administration, the Buhari-led administration, to put an end to kidnapping and insecurity in the country?
There is no vices in any war that can be put an end to. Up to today, killings and racism is still ongoing, even in the so-called Sena crime. So there is nowhere in the world that you can put an end to a criminal acts. You can only limit or minimize it. So I believe that the government needs to put more effort. That is if, and I repeat, if it is about the economic virtues of vices. If it is politically motivated, then before it can be stopped and be nipped in the bud or minimized, so to say, the political class must be checkmated. And the only area where I find this government not sitting in that axis was the fact that each time they will say they know this, they know that, and you don't arrest them or you don't do the needful by exposing them. You don't know them and keep quiet. You don't know them and use political solutions to it. The thing will be like what Yoruba call egbinrin ote bashin pakon nikan ru. It's going to be like a mischief that you are trying to curb. It doesn't go away. As you are solving one, another one will be rearing his ugly head. So if you find out, I've heard from the NSA, I've heard from some other government functionaries that this is some of it are politically motivated. And if they are politically motivated, then your information gathering antenna must be raised to pick those, and you must expose them as well. I recall it just recently, a serving or Hema was just suspended in Zamfara State as part of the bandit. So also is a cleric, a Muslim cleric, Islamic cleric, was also arrested as part of the bandit that was disturbing Zamfara State. These are things that I know that make me believe truly they are all politically motivated. Apart from naturally kidnapping is part of the vices that ruled Nigeria in the past, though it is not up to this kind of alarming rate. But if this is politically motivated, the government of the day must not shy away from having the willpower to do the needful.
But do you think the government has the willpower to do the needful?
Well, as a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, in Nigeria, if you look at the constitutions of Nigeria and of other countries, Nigerian president is about one of the powerful president ruling his country. So to me, if he doesn't have the willpower, then he should get out of the place without iota of a dent in my support for his person as Buhari. You must have willpower to protect other 180-something million against 2% of that population that are troubling us. So the willpower cannot be subjected to the whips and caprices of the 2%. So if you cannot protect other 180-something million, because I learned recently that we are now 190 million, quote and unquote. So if you don't have the willpower to protect the rest of the 180-something million against the 2% of that population that is disturbing us, then you get out of the place.
The United Kingdom and the United States recently listed over 20 states that are not safe for their citizens in Nigeria. And here we are talking about kidnapping, insurgency, banditry. How do you think these issues affect the country at the international scene?
Unfortunately for those hypocritical Western worlds, many things are happening within their domain, and who is going to declare the state, or is it Chicago or where, that about how many people gunman kill as many students as possible? Just recently, maybe last week, in the same United States, the same Senate climes where we believe that there is CCTV everywhere and camera everywhere. Even in the United Kingdom, they are still looking for the killer. Up to now, they have not seen, despite the fact that they are Senate crime. They are just being an alarmist. If they so believe, why couldn't they left the Niger Delta during the time of Avengers in the beginning of this administration in 2015, 2016, when they are bombing everywhere? Shebi Shell was still there making money out of us. FINA was still there making money out of us. Same thing, Chevron never left us. Since the last 2-3 weeks now, in Niger area of Chevron base, there have been killings by the land speculators. Why can't they ask Chevron to leave the place? Wherever they have business venture, they will not tell them to leave. But where they know that they cannot make cover out of the place, they will now becoming an alarmist in that area. I don't believe them. I just believe that Nigeria just have to believe in their own country, and we must join hands together to build it and make it safe for ourselves. Because the politicians that are speculated to be behind the whole thing, they are not from America, they are not from France. Although the same place give them safe haven to lodge our money, to launder our money, to run to immediately the bubble burst, and this place is becoming hot for them. Why can't the UK send Aziani home since all the years? Why? Because all the money that she stole from here is already with the UK's account. United Kingdom, as I know, they don't have any so-called resources that they make money from. Many of them, they don't even have a company that bring them money, except tax and money from the African country, stolen from African country in which they used to run their economy. Why can't they return all those money? If they are so happy, they have read, and they are the one coming out with the fact that this Nigeria or Africa has the lowest this, the lowest that, the lowest then, the lowest this. And with all the lowest this, lowest that they claim that we have, our money stolen by our people are with them, and they are not returning it. So what hypocritical statement are they making? If they said the people their people should not go to certain state, what about the state that where they are in? What about us that we are living in that state? And yet they are making their money from us, and they are running back to their country. They should just crap that their hypocrisy. Instead of providing solution, instead of lending a helping hands, if peradventure those places truly are unsafe. If it's unsafe for their people, is it unsafe for us? So should we all the people that are living in those 21 or so states, we should pack away and go and move to their country?
Talking about preferring solutions to insecurity in Nigeria, would you support the creation of state police?
Oh, that's a dicey kind of an answer to give. My experience with the Nigerian police, the way politicians use them, will not make me to support the state police. A quasi kind of paramilitary was set up in Lagos called the Last Man. They almost become a demon that we need to cast out with MFM spirit at one point in time. Because a kind of job they do, not even according to the law that set them up. They are all out there because they are law to themselves by virtues of those that govern them, and they almost become a menace. So if we have to juxtapose between them and the intending new police and the activities of our politicians, I may say no. But if it is about knowing ourselves and policing ourselves, well, I may support it, provided there will be a clause in the act of that police that no policeman will ever be a subservient to any politician that they are guiding. You even see the Nigerian police, these Nigerian police paid by Nigerian government that is at the center, carrying bag for wife of the politicians and wife of the House of Assembly member, even councillors. It's irritating. So not to talk of when they said this is our state. Have you seen the neighborhood watch before somewhere? You look at them and say, if this is what police, so-called state police is going to look like, I don't want it. So to me, my answer is yes and no. That's just it.
Moving on to national politics now. President Muhammadu Buhari is here to appoint the minister, the people that will be in charge of key agencies.
That also is kind of a disgusting. It's a low on his side anyway. It's very low on his side for us to still be waiting, having a waiting game. I've started something on social media, hashtag President Buhari, give us your cabinet list. I am a diehard, unrepentant Buharist. But I am not a blindfolded Buharist. I am not somebody that anything can be shoved down his throat. I remember in 2017, myself, Yele Showore, my friend, and area father, we led a protest against the so-called economic downtrodden that we witnessed then. And yet that does not stop me from being a Buharist. I'm a friend to Yele Showore. I'm also one of his lawyers. But that will not stop me from saying the truth to him at any point in time. President Buhari is not doing us the good for him to have been in government for 4 years, and after the tenure of 4 years, taking oath since May 29, and we are still awaiting his cabinet list. It's a shame. If you say next level, you must move at fast level. When you talk about next level, your movement must be at fast level. Before you know it, June 29, it will be 1 month. Then we will have 1 year. Then we'll have 2 years. Then we'll have 3 years. Before you know it, his 4 years is over. I am going to rate him now based on his 4 years achievement, not the last 4 years, because I can testify the fact that what they met then was not something any governance should look like. But now you have handed over to yourself. I want to see that list. And like I have said in several letters and write-up that I have done on social media, he must not give us the like of Lai Mohammed, the Ogbe of this world, the what they call those ones, all those old ants.
So I was going to ask, of the 34, 35 ministers, is there any one of them you think should be reappointed?
Yes. I have my spirit is with the ministers of power, housing, and works.
Based on what achievement?
Yes, for in charge of works, I can testify that based on what has been approved through the FEC, works are going on in some of those approved and contracted roads. While he was there, he was not just sitting in the office, like his attitude while he was in Lagos as governor. Whenever infrastructure developments are awarded to contractors, he personally visited and make sure that things are done according to the dictate. The same attitude in employer. He also in the power sector. Forget about the results so far, which you know my stake, and I'm a stakeholder, a well-known stakeholder as far as the power sector is concerned, as far as electricity consumer advocacy is concerned. I have said it again in my new letter to the president that he cannot do anything about power except he declare state of emergency on that sector. Let him appoint anybody in that power sector ministry. Nothing will happen. Why? The hawks are there. The fifth columnists are there. Those of interest of money making are there. Who are they? The hawks are in the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. They will never allow any regulatory relief to come to the consumer. As of today, the problem we are having in electricity is not with the DISCO. DISCO flagrantly disobeying or flagrantly disregard the directive and as well as the extant law of the Electric Power Sector Reformer 2005 is not their fault, but the fault of the regulatory body. The same thing, though the hawk there will not let them do the needful. They will always collaborate or compromise their position. Two, the generator importers will never allow anything to happen, except just like he did in the importation of rice, he has to give a total ban to importations of generator. If those ones have to die, then electricity will improve. You can see that since 2015, we have been hobbing from 3,000, 5,000 megawatts, while other countries are already enjoying what we call renewable energy exploits. In one of our meetings in Abuja, I was forced to tell the ministers of power, it's on record, and I heard that the FEC has approved it. I said, Oga, you have always been mounting the renewable energy. Even your ministry budgeted 140 million naira every year, both to power generator and to buy new one. What kind of renewable energy is it that you are mounting and you want people to buy or borrow from you, where your ministry cannot be the hub where that start from? If your ministry is still using generator and they are still budgeting money for diesel, and you are the power minister and you are talking about renewable energy, it doesn't work that way. I think at the end, the Federal Executive Council has to approve, the renewable energy provision for the ministries of power, so that it can be the hub, and at the same time maybe other ministry will. But we are not supposed to be told about that. I'm not even supposed to tell the minister that. It's supposed to be part of what is going to be in his agenda. But it cannot be his agenda because civil servants that are preparing the budget will not allow it to be, because that 140 million naira is not going to any diesel. It's still going to go to individual pockets, because somebody has to volunteer to supply the diesel, and that diesel supplier will have to. So I want to tell you that in his capacity, but I will not want him to be giving 3 ministries any longer. At least let us limit him to works, and let's see how he continues the network of the country. Another person that I would have loved to see is Minister of Transportation. So far, so good. Give and take. The issue of transportation as far as the rail is moving on. And if we can get connected rail-wise in this country, as we both enjoy, I don't know how old you are, but I enjoy, the transportation by rail.
Are you comparing Amici to the last Minister of Transportation, the one before him, or how are you rating him now?
I can tell you without any equivocation that the then minister was just doing what we call caricature or boju kind of rail system. I witnessed it and I saw it happening right here in Lagos State when Samadi Nambo came to commission at our back here, Ikeja, rail system. And before you know it, the same coach was taken to Benue State for another commission. The same coach that they used at that point in time is on record. You understand? So we are talking about sincerity. We are talking about that which we can see and we can touch. I learned yesterday that the Lagos State government is going to close the road at Dewati and Ashade just because they want to do some work on that rail system in order to take us from Lagos to Abeokuta. At least they can get Lagos to Abeokuta right. The road from Lagos to Ibadan Expressway will be reduced, because there are so many of us that we don't need to carry our car and face Ibadan. We can easily enter the rail, get there in the 35 minutes. Some people have to migrate from Lagos to Ibadan, because if you can enter rain between 40 minutes you are in Lagos, then you can enter rain between 40 minutes you are back to Ibadan. So you can walk in Lagos and still live in Ibadan. It happened to so many people in London, where they live in southeast London, and they work in Peckham or in all this central London. Why? Via train. So all these things are what I consider to be applause. So for me, those are the two. Those people I don't want to see. I don't want to see the man called Adewale for anything. He called himself a gynecologist, and I cannot see his impact. I met him while they were doing the election in Ilesha at one point in time, and I told him to his face, I am like that. Oga, you are the worst minister of health I've ever seen in this country. He said, you don't know much. I will call you this thing. We exchanged number. If he will call me, it's today, because maybe he was expecting me to call him. I'm not going to. The only thing I know him to do that is physical about in that 4 years is for him to have been following Yusuf Mohammed to airport and follow him back during his accident. That's all. I've not seen him. He didn't do anything. I can't see. It cannot be felt. The general hospital still remain the same. The federal medical center still remain the same. Our primary health center that's supposed to be closer to everybody in Nigeria, it still remains the same. There is no improvement. I said that which they have done in paper for 4 years. He collected our money, he collected our salary, he collected our allowance, and he cannot pinpoint to anything that he can claim to be his achievement. That was why I still have the picture in my phone. I told him, Oga, you are the worst minister of health that I've ever seen. And that is why when I was giving suggestions to the president, I told him, give us a man like Olikoye Raisom Kuti. In his days, despite serving under the military, he did fantastically well. He was proactive, and he has something to show for it. If he can get people like that, he must also take people outside his political terrain. That I saw people protesting that he has to be APC. APC, is it APC Nigeria or APC what? Nigeria is Nigeria. If you can see good hand from other end, pick. Let us use them and bring Nigeria to the enviable position where no UK or USA will tell us that 21 states must not be going to in our country while they are in another area of our country where they are making our money and running to their state. Nonsense. So to me, those areas must be fair. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know about any other Buhari. President Buhari, you are delaying too much in the release of your cabinet list. I am not in support of it. Yoruba say, we don't know when we are going to enter market. It is time for you to give up. This is the mistake you made at your first tenure, where you used 6 months and you said it emphatically, permanent secretary can do the job. Permanent secretary messed the job up, and at the end of the day, we all bear the brunt. I will not allow you to stay more than 1 month before, or else I will organize protest. My own protest will be release your your cabinet list and let the work begin. If you are at the next level, you must work at fast level. That is my take.